Hi, everybody. Chelsea here, making sure I'm going live. Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the Love Over Fear Show. If you're new to this, if you're new to this space, the Love Over Fear Show is something that Sarah and I do twice a month, and it's basically a live teaching series to help you gain more clarity and perspective on your anxiety and to help you shine a light on the many ways that fear manifests, not just in your mind, but of course in your body, and how to lean into love. Yes, we can experience love and have fear and anxiety simultaneously. So we want to help you to lean into the discomfort of choosing love. Fear can cause us to play it small, to want to avoid all risks, run away, not step fully into our relationships and our lives. So we want to help you to shift that paradigm from the inside out. So today's episode is called Moving the Messages of Love. And you're probably like, what the heck does that even mean, Chelsea? Come on. Today we're going to be literally using our bodies and using movement to feel into how these cultural narratives, family narratives, societal narratives around love have impacted us. Not just our thoughts and the way we see our relationships, but in how we feel in our bodies. To me, this is a really great barometer to use to see if these narratives even belong to you. I always say like something that, and again, there's nuance here, but for me, most things, most beliefs that are in alignment with me and my unique self give me this sense of like, I feel empowered, I feel present, I feel this sense of worthiness. And beliefs that are misaligned with me and my unique self, my unique relationship, beliefs that are misaligned with that, I feel like I'm trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. There's so much tension. There's so much discomfort. There's so much uneasiness. There's so much shame and feelings of unworthiness, like I'm not doing enough, like I'm not doing something right. And that manifests in how I feel in my body. So I want to teach you this skill of using your body to feel into, is this narrative around love actually even aligned with me? Does it even belong to me? Or does it feel like I'm trying to fit this square peg into a round hole? Am I trying to fit something that came from someone else that maybe applies to someone else in another unique situation? Am I trying to fit that into myself and into my story? So, if you're with me live, say hello. I hear my husband whispering to the dogs in the background. Hi, babe. So, as you know, we at Healing Embodied, we truly believe in the power of tapping into the body's wisdom. And our body lets us know when we're trying to internalize something that only causes shame. I feel like shame is one of the best barometers to use, and what shame feels like in your body. One of the best barometers to use on whether or not a narrative is even yours to begin with. We want to create narratives for ourselves, for our relationships that feel empowering, and that remind us that we are inherently worthy, and that we don't need all these external rules and standards to tell us if what we're doing is okay, aka if we are worthy. So, if you're with me live, let's just start a discussion. What are some of the internalized beliefs or narratives that you have about love? What is a belief about love that keeps coming up and it keeps bumping against your experience in your relationship, and you keep looking to this external standard, you keep looking to this narrative and saying, oh gosh, but I should be doing that, or I should be feeling like that, or I should be experiencing that. What are some of those shoulds, those expectations, beliefs, and narratives? And if you're watching the recording, just think for yourself. Maybe you want to pause this and think for yourself, what are some of these beliefs that I'm constantly saying to myself that I've just internalized as true. And because I've internalized it as just truth, I then feel like I'm doing something wrong because my experience isn't matching up with this belief, right? So think for yourself. Take a moment. Maybe identify one or two beliefs about love and relationships that you've just internalized as, oh, well, this is just how it is. This is how relationships are. This is how they're supposed to be. This is what makes them work. This is what makes them okay. This is what makes them worthy. This is what makes me worthy. Hi, baby. I got a puppy visitor. So if I don't have anyone sharing live, I'll just go ahead and use an example from my life and my experience, something that I had deeply, deeply internalized as just truth. That's just the way it is. And so I saw my relationship and myself through this lens. And for me, that belief was you have to be with someone who has the same spiritual beliefs as you. A relationship will not work if you do not have the same spiritual beliefs. And maybe you're resonating, maybe you're like, oh, political beliefs or what, insert whatever beliefs. I had internalized this narrative that was taught very explicitly. Some of the beliefs we internalize are taught very explicitly, like someone literally says it out loud, or they're taught implicitly. We witness it. No one really says it, but we witness it happening, and we form beliefs around love. So a belief, a narrative around love that was very explicitly taught for me was you have to be with someone with the same spiritual beliefs. It's just not gonna work if you don't have the same religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs. It can't work. And not only will it not work, you become disappointing to God. Like, wow, damn. So think of that belief for yourself. What is that one internalized narrative around relationships that it keeps playing on and on in your mind? And let's drop it into the body. Let's just take a moment to first notice our bodies. So many of us live in autopilot in our minds, in our thoughts. So let's just take a moment to breathe. Just feel that gentle rhythm of the breath. Notice how the breath moves through the chest, moves through the core. I'm just kind of saying like, hello, body. Okay. Sorry, I might not have been paying attention to you all day because my mind has been stealing the spotlight. And I want you to call to mind that narrative about love, whether it's you have to be with someone who is XYZ, you have to feel this way all the time, you can't be with someone unless you've, dated 1,400 other people first, your family has to absolutely adore them, whatever those beliefs are, just pick one, call it to mind, and just notice what comes up in your body when you bring to mind that belief. How does your body respond when your body hears that belief? Maybe you feel tension in your chest or like knots in your stomach. Maybe you notice like your shoulders pull in a little bit. It might be really subtle, but see if you can just feel into any slight shifts. Maybe your heart begins to race because you're like, oh God, my relationship doesn't look like that. Oh God, I'm not following the narrative. I'm not following the rules. So noticing the sensations in your body. We always want to start with sensation. Tightness in the chest, knots, heaviness in the stomach, tension in the shoulders, a pulling inward. What are the sensations? Rather than saying, I feel bad or I feel gross, what are the specific sensations? Where do you feel it? When you internalize this belief, How do you hold yourself? Oh, for me, it's just so tight and constricted. It feels so constricted. Oh, I feel like I'm just collapsing inward when I would internalize this belief. Like I feel so small. Like, no, don't punish me. That's like what I feel like my body's doing. And then see if you can identify an emotion that comes up when you internalize this belief. Is it shame? Is it guilt? Is it sadness? Oh my God, I feel sad that my relationship never gonna live up to the standard that my family said or that social media said. What are the emotions? For me, when I used to internalize that belief of you have to be with someone with the same religious or spiritual beliefs, it was just so much shame. And on top of the shame was anxiety, being like, oh God, oh God, oh God. So much shame, unworthiness. Oh God, I'm doing something wrong. I am wrong. My choices are bad. I'm not living up to this narrative. My experience isn't matching this narrative. So noticing the emotions and just feel into that posture in your body even more. For me, this feels so disempowering. I feel so tight and constricted. I feel like I can't breathe when I'm living from this internalized belief. So what do we do from here? How do we shift our beliefs? How do we change this pattern of feeling like we're living in a disempowered state, feeling like we're so constricted, feeling all of this shame, this guilt, unworthiness, and anxiety? And a lot of us, we try to use the mind first and say, okay, I'll just change my beliefs. But your body is still stuck in this. So you're trying to use your mind when your body is still stuck. Your subconscious is still feeling that shame and disempowerment about your relationship and the anxiety about your relationship. So what I want to invite us to do is actually just shift our body first. We're not going to worry about shifting the belief just yet. We're going to try a bottom-up approach, okay? So we're not going to worry about trying to just fight our mind, trying to fight the belief, trying to find evidence for the contrary, because as y'all probably know, whenever you try to find evidence for the contrary of an anxious thought, anxiety comes back and says, but. So we're not even going to go down that trail. We're not even going to give anxiety the satisfaction of giving us a, yeah, but. I was working with a one-on-one client. We named this certain part of her, this anxious part of her, as the yeah, but part. Right? Because we can rationally know one thing. We can rationally say like, oh yeah, that's one belief. But if our body is still like this, feeling all the shame and anxiety, then the anxiety is going to go, yeah, but, to every new belief you try to introduce. So let's just allow the body to shift first and just notice how that feels and notice what happens. So we're just going to like just do one shift at a time. So if you're feeling that contraction, that tension, let's just first start by inviting some breath into this space. We don't have to change it. We just want to invite some breath. And just notice what that feels like to breathe into this posture. This disempowered, tense, constricted state in the body. Feeling the space that's being created inside of your body. And just see if you can begin to shift one body part at a time. For me, I'm just feeling this need to like straighten my spine because I feel so contracted. So I'm just going to breathe and just notice what it feels like to straighten my spine. And then maybe I want to open up my shoulders a bit. Oh, I was so closed off. Maybe I just want to explore opening up. And maybe you're following along with me. Just notice how that feels in your body. Maybe you need to do something different. That's okay. And just in our work, we teach you how to follow the natural impulses of the body because we believe that our body has so much more wisdom and our body is able to move us through things that usually we get stuck with in our mind. Our mind can only kind of see one thing, like, and it just goes around and round and round. But our body is able to, whew, we tune into the body and go, body, how do you want to move next? We're then able to begin to shift our experience. So I'm feeling the impulse to want to like open my arms. Ooh, and I want to lift them and I want to like stretch. I'm yawning now. So again, we teach you how to do this in our work, how to just attune to your body and allow your body to process things instead of always trying to process things through your mind, going over and over and over. And as I'm moving and listening to my body and just allowing my body to move how she wants, a word that's popping into my mind in response to this movement is expansiveness. And maybe as you're beginning to move and shift your posture, shift how you're breathing, maybe there's like a word or an image that pops up in response to how you're moving and how you're shifting your body. The word that's coming up for me is expansiveness. So I'm just going to keep embodying the word expansiveness. Maybe another word or image comes up for you. Maybe like flow, fluid, water, fire. Maybe there's an image, maybe an animal. And we don't have to like know why this word pops up. We just go with it. We're being creative. So from this new movement, from this new posture, from this new way of holding your body, maybe the word or image that pops up, can we create a belief, a narrative around love from this new embodied state? And for me, the belief that's coming up is God is expansive. Love is expansive. Spirituality is expansive. Because that belief before was you have to be with someone with the same beliefs. It's very constricted, very black or white, it's very limited. And my body was reflecting that. And as I just allowed my body to move how she wanted to, and the word expansive came up, from there, from that embodied state, I was able to create a new belief that was in alignment with this state. So see if there's a new belief, a new thought that might emerge from this new movement. Whether you're watching live or the replay, I'd love to hear any new thoughts, even images, even if the belief or the thought or the narrative isn't quite formed yet. Maybe there's just a word, like this word keeps popping up, or this image keeps popping up. And maybe this is something you want to continue exploring. But the new belief that comes up with this movement is like life is expansive. Spirit is expansive. Love is expansive. God is expansive. And from that belief, it just feels so much more freeing. I feel empowered. I don't feel like this sense of shame and I am bad and I am unworthy. Because if my new belief is love is expansive, spirituality is expansive, God is expansive, then that's in alignment with my experience of my relationship, my experience of my life. Not how I think it should be, not how I was told it should be, but it's in alignment with my actual reality, my actual experience. And this is how we begin to shift our beliefs, because so many of us, our beliefs that we just hold on to so tightly because we're told that that's just the way things are, they bump up against our reality. And we usually feel anxiety when that happens. And then we go, oh gosh, my experience, my relationship, my reality, there must be something wrong because it doesn't line up with this belief. And if we just lean into that clashing a bit, we might be able to see that maybe life, maybe love, maybe reality goes beyond the narratives, the messages, and the expectations that you always internalize as black and white truth. Powerful stuff. When we feel that clash of our internalized beliefs and our experience, and that clash usually feels like anxiety, shame, and discomfort, a lot of us automatically default to there must be something wrong then with my reality. But maybe, just maybe, life, love, reality, and relationships are so much more expansive, so much different than these shoulds, these messages, and these narratives that we've always carried with us. And letting go of a narrative is really scary. It was terrifying for me to shift that belief. That's why I'm able to find it so easily in my body. You might not be able to find it so easily in your body at this point. It can bring up a lot of resistance to change our narrative around love, because so many of us are using these external narratives and standards and shoulds around love as the barometer of if we are worthy, if we are okay. Am I doing the right thing? So what happens when I let go of these narratives? That means I no longer have some external standard to tell me that I'm worthy. So then the only place we have to look for that worthiness is within. Your worthiness is inherent. Whether your experience matches up with the narratives that you've heard over and over or not. Whether your choices are what your parents always told you had to make or not. Your worthiness is inherent. And it is a brave, courageous shift to go from measuring your worthiness from all these things outside of you to anchoring and centering inward. It's a courageous act of love, because fear wants us to keep looking outside of ourselves. Fear says if you don't measure up to these standards, if your experience doesn't match this narrative, then you are bad, you are wrong. Which creates anxiety, shame, guilt, never wanting to fully commit to the life that we're in. And love says, I am whole, I am worthy, and my reality, my experience gets to be unique. I am creating it as I go with each step I take, with each experience I have. And I don't know what is more empowering than that. It feels terrifying at first, like you are jumping off a cliff into nothingness, because you're letting go of all these pillars, these standards, these expectations of what it means to be worthy. And when you let go of those beliefs, those standards, those narratives, and you turn inward to your own body, to what alignment feels like for you. At first, it feels like you are jumping off a cliff into the abyss. And then when you take that scary step and you trust your own inner wisdom and your own inner guidance, you learn that you can fucking fly. And that life opens up for you, and you have so much more freedom and spaciousness. That's the power of this work. That's what relationships can offer us if we allow them. That's what experience and life wants to teach us. The life is so much more expansive than these very narrow narratives and stories and standards that we've internalized. So let's just take a moment to breathe with that. Allow your body to absorb this. If it resonates with you, if you feel empowered by this message, allow your body to absorb it. Maybe there's resistance of like, oh God, what if I let go of all these expectations? That's okay. Hold space for the fear. Yeah. This is what we help our clients do over and over again. It's pretty freaking cool, not gonna lie. Me and Sarah, we love our job so much. We love what we do. We love witnessing courageous people step into their power and let go of these expectations that have been creating so much shame and anxiety in their relationships. And if you want support from us, if what I'm sharing with you today is lighting you up, you can comment below and just say, oh my gosh, like, hey, I want to know more. And or I am doing a live event with Alex from For Love We Heal this Friday, February 18th. So you can click on the link that I've posted and register for that. It's a great first step. That one event is not going to change years of patterns, but it's a great first step to help you begin to shift your perspective and see your relationship and see your anxiety in a whole new light. So go ahead and register for that event. It's only $25 for 2 hours. Alex and I are really excited to put it on, and I really hope to see you there. Until next time, I can't wait to see you embrace love and life wholeheartedly. Bye for now.